Good morning to one and all. So in this semester, I will take on the subject fluid mechanics. So in this first class, we will discuss about the introduction to fluid mechanics and what is meant by fluid mechanics, applications of fluid mechanics. Okay. So since you are in autonomous scheme, your regulation is R19 regulation. So our subject consists of 5 units. Each unit having 2 chapters. The first unit consists of properties of fluid and fluid statics. Second unit, fluid kinematics and fluid dynamics. Third unit, flow measurement in pipes, flow over notches and wears. Fourth unit, flow through pipes. And fifth unit, laminar and turbulent flow and boundary layer concept. So this is your course objective. Okay. So why you need to study the fluid mechanics subject? Okay. So in this subject, you have to study the fundamentals of the fluid mechanics and their application in the various engineering fields. Okay. So first point, introduce the concepts of fluid mechanics useful in civil engineering application. Provide a first level exposure to the students to fluid statics, kinematics and dynamics. Learn about the application of mass, energy, momentum conservation laws for fluid flows. Train and analyze engineering problems involving fluids with a mechanized perspective is essential for the civil engineering students. To obtain the velocity and the pressure variations in various types of simple flows. To prepare a student to build a good fundamental background useful in the application intensive course covering hydraulics, hydraulic machinery and hydrology. So this is your course outcome. After completing this course, okay, what you have to able to know. So these are the few things. So understand the broad principles of fluid statics, kinematics and dynamics. Understand definitions of the basic terms used in fluid mechanics and the characteristics of fluids and its flow. Understand the classifications of fluid flow. Be able to apply the continuity, momentum and energy principles. Okay, these are all the things you will be know after the completing of this course. And these are all the reference textbooks and reference books. Okay. Next, what is meant by fluid? Okay, so you know that in our world there are 3 states of matter. One is a solid, a liquid and a gas. Okay, so solid having a rigid materials like, okay, so a liquid and a gas are some properties, most of the properties are similar, so it is commonly called a fluid. Okay, so for if you go to definition, means the word fluid means a substance which is capable of flowing. Okay, a substance which is capable of flowing. Okay, so the best example for fluid is a water. Okay, it having a flow property, and also a gas, that also a flowing property. Okay, so another definition, a fluid may be defined as a substance which deforms continuously under the action of shear stress. Okay, we know that a fluid having different layers. Okay, so whenever it moving, shear stress is occurs. Okay, at rest there is no shear stress. Okay, so at moving there will be a tangential stress, that is called a shear stress is occurs. So liquids and gases have a common characteristics in which they differ from solids. Okay, the liquid and gas together are called by the common term fluids. Okay, both liquids and gas is commonly called as fluids. So in the other words, of Sir Oliver Lodge. This is a British uh, scientist. Okay, what he is saying is a solid has volume and shape. Definitely. Okay, suppose if you take a cube material or if you take a chalk piece, it having some volume. Okay, we can easily identify using formula. We can easily identify volume and having a shape, a cube shape, a cuboid or a spear shape like that. So a solid having a definite shape. Okay. So if you take liquid, a liquid has volume but no shape. Okay. So a liquid has volume but no shape. So there is no perfect shape like solid. Okay. In case of liquid. And a gas has neither. Okay. There is no perfect shape for gas as well as volume. Okay. So this is the fundamental basic difference. Okay. If you you can study in deep means, if you want to study deep means difference between a solid, liquid, gas means. So this chart gives the solution. So if you take characteristics of there are 6 different characteristics. If you take first one, shape means a solid having fixed shape and liquid no fixed shape and gas no fixed shape. Okay. If you take volume, solid having fixed volume and liquid also having some fixed volume but gas no fixed volume. And next come to rigidity, fluidity. So I already told solid having a rigid one. Okay, cannot flow. Okay, but liquid there is no rigid and can flow easily. And gas also can flow easily. There is not rigid. And intermolecular force. So the intermolecule means the atoms. The atoms present in the solid is maximum. The attraction of atoms. Okay, attraction of atoms is more. Okay, suppose if we take this is the atom means it is very close like this. Okay, very close. Each atoms are very close. Okay, and if you take a liquid, it is less than the solid. It is like this. Okay, so it is like this. Somewhat a distance. The distance between each atom is somewhat more than the solid material, solid atoms. Okay, so now if you take gas means the distance between atoms is very large. Okay, the distance between atom is very large. Okay, so this is the basic difference. So if you take intermolecular space is very less. That means the space between the atoms is very less. Okay, and if you take liquid, it is more than the solid, and gas is maximum. Okay, compared to solid and liquid, it is maximum. Okay, but you can understand this the difference between the intermolecular force and the intermolecular space. Space means the distance between each atom. Force means the force of attraction. If you take solid, it is maximum. And liquid compared to solid, it is minimum, and gas is very minimum. Okay. So next, compressibility. Okay. So we can't compress a solid material. Definitely we can't compress. If you take a concrete cube or if you take a chalk piece, we can't compress. If you compress means what happened? It is broken. Okay. After some extent of force. Okay. And the liquid is also very little compression. Okay. Compressibility occurs very little. Compared to solid, it is negligible only. Okay. So it also somewhat incompressible. Okay, so only 1 or 2% it is compressible. Next, gas is highly compressible. Okay, gas is highly compressible. Okay, so if you take an ice cube, okay, ice cube, if you heat the ice cube, what happens? That ice cube is converted into, initially it is a solid material. Okay, so after the temperature rises in the ice cube means what happens? the solid material is converted into a liquid material. Okay, so again you heating the liquid means again it is converted into vapor, that means gas. Okay, so water having these three states. Yeah, it may be a solid, it may be a liquid, or it may be a gas. Water having these three properties. Okay, so here temperature is the major influence. Okay, suppose I want to convert from vapor to solid means you reduce the temperature. Okay, for example, in our fridge, okay, in our fridge we keep the water in the ice tray. Okay, in the freezer means the next day what happened, it is converted into a solid one. Okay, because it reduces the temperature compared to atmospheric temperature. In freezer in the fridge, it is temperature is reduced, so it is converted in from liquid to solid. Okay, next, what are the properties of the fluids? Okay, so we will see one by one. It is unable to retain any unsupported shape. It is unable to retain any unsupported shape. It flows under its own weight. It flows under its own weight and it takes the shape of any solid body with which it contained. Suppose if you take a tumbler of water, take 1 tumbler of water, you transfer that 1 tumbler of water into a half liter of a water can. Okay, so this tumbler shape is different and the water can shape is different. Okay, so even though its shape is different, the volume is not different. Okay, volume of the water is not different, but it changes according to the shape of the solid body. Okay, according to the shape of the solid body. Next, a fluid in equilibrium cannot sustain any shear. So here equilibrium means at rest. Okay, equilibrium means at rest. So at rest there is no shear occurs. Okay, so it cannot regain its original shape on the removal of the shear force. Okay, so once its flow means we can't regain its original shape. Okay, shear stress occurs in fluids only when they are in motion. Okay, so at rest there is no shear stress. Only shear stress occurs when only it is in motion. Okay, let's come to our subject, fluid mechanics. So far we've seen proper what is meant by fluid and fluid mechanics. Now properties of fluids and what is meant by fluids. Now fluid mechanics. What is meant by fluid mechanics? Fluid mechanics is defined as a science which deals with the study of behavior of fluids. Okay, either at rest or in motion. Okay, so the study of behavior of the fluids, either rest as well as or in motion. Okay, so a branch of mechanics dealing with the properties of fluids and gases. Okay, it is the branch of mechanics. So there are 3 different categories. The fluid mechanics divided into 3 different categories. Depends upon the behavior. The first one is the study of fluids at rest. Okay, suppose if you take water in a overhead tank. Okay, so in that overhead tank, water is a stagnated one. So there is no external forces acting. So it just stored. Okay, that means it is in rest position. Okay, in the water tank. So the behavior of study at rest position of the fluids is called fluid statics. Okay, let's come to fluid kinematics, the study of fluids in motion. Suppose the same water in the water tank flowing in the water pipeline. Okay, flowing in the water pipeline at some velocity. So always water we stored in the terrace. Okay, in our home. Okay, so when water is travel from terrace to our pipeline through our bathroom through the pipeline only. So it is in the motion. Okay, it's traveling from water tank to pipe. Okay, so it is called fluids in motion. Okay, so it is the fluid kinematics. Here, pressure force are not considered. In fluid kinematics, pressure force are not considered. Okay. Next, if the pressure force are also considered, if pressure force are also considered means same fluids in motion, the pressure force are also considered. It is called fluid dynamics. Okay. So these are the branch of study. Okay, on fluid mechanics, fluid statics at rest, fluid kinematics under motion without considering pressure force, and fluid dynamics, the study of the effect of the force in fluid motion. Okay. Next, what are the applications? Why we need to study this fluid mechanics subject? Okay, so we know that water is the major part in our life, not only our life, even if you take animal, a plant, a microorganism, for our survival. Okay, for our survival we need water. Okay, so daily we are using water in brushing, bathing, cooking, drinking, everything. In every manner we are using some amount of water every day, all of us. Okay, so the behavior of the water under various conditions, okay, under engineering point of view is necessary. Okay, so the main applications is it is the in a wide range of discipline. Okay, this fluid mechanics subject is uses in the wide range of discipline, including mechanical, civil, chemical, biomedical engineering, geophysics, oceanography, meteorology, and biology. Okay, so you can see in this picture, so there will be a dam or reservoir is there, a canal is there, a notch is there. Okay, so for design of dam, a canal, a notch or weir, a barrage, so everything. So we need the fundamental knowledge of the fluid mechanics subject. Okay, so we will see one by one under various disciplines. So in hydraulics, okay, the flow of water in rivers, pipes, canals, pumps, turbines. Okay, so water is the main thing. Okay, so in aerodynamics, the flow of air around airplanes, rockets, projectiles. And in meteorology, the flow of the atmosphere. And particle dynamics, the flow of fluids around particles, the interaction of particles and fluids, that is dust setting, slurries, pneumatic transport, fluidized beds, air, pollutant particles, corpuscles in our blood. Okay, so even our blood also a fluid. Okay, so hydrology, the flow of water and waterborne pollutions in the ground. And reservoir engineering, the flow of oil, gas, and water in petroleum reservoirs. And multi-phase flow, coffee percolators, oil wells, carburetors, fuel injectors, combustion chambers, sprays. Okay, so even our perfume also a fluid. Next, combination of fluid flow with chemical reactions in combustion with electromagnetic phenomena in magnetohydrodynamics with mass transport in distillation or drying. Viscosity, domain flows, lubrication, injection molding, wire coating, lava, and continental drift. Okay, so we already know. So in our, if you take our Earth, so nearly 70% is of water only. Okay, only 30% only land mass. Okay, so the study of water is necessary under engineering point of view. Okay, so next, these are all some of the pictures. So for the application of the fluid mechanics. If you take first picture, the design of dams, spillways, hydraulic jumps. Next, to design water or oil and gas pipeline networks. Next, to study oceanography, that means under the sea, coastal engineering. Next, to study of water and air pollution. Next, to design slabs that resist to water, underground and underwater pressures. Next, to design of bridges across a river. Okay, so if you want to construct a bridge in a river or in a ocean or sea, so the basic knowledge, how much pressure is acting on that structure, so that knowledge is must. Next, to design of inshore civil infrastructure as well as offshore structures, okay, inside the sea. So this picture shows the under civil engineering application. So mainly water used to mainly for irrigation purpose. Okay, the first picture shows the different types of irrigation: sprinkler irrigation, surge irrigation, drip irrigation, flood irrigation. Okay, because for survival of human beings or animals, okay, so food is necessary. So without water, we can't harvest anything. Okay, any type of food material. Okay, so water is mainly used for the agriculture and irrigation purpose. Next, yeah, weir, a canal. Okay, and water supply. Okay, so if you want to municipal water, okay, in our house means what we have to do. So they will take the water from a nearby river by the intake structure. Okay, so from that it is transferred to the water treatment plants. Okay, from the water, after treatment of the water, they will distributed in the various overheaded tanks like this. Okay, various tanks. Okay, so from these tanks, the water is flowing through the pipes for our domestic purpose. Okay, this picture shows the water supply and distribution system. Okay, next, what after using of water, what happened? The sewage water should be treatment. Okay, using sewage treatment plant. It is treated with the sewage treatment plant. Okay, so again it is, we can reuse for agriculture purpose or even drinking purpose also. Okay, so next most important thing is for design of structure. If you want to design of 10-story or 20-story means the effect of wind also we must consider. Okay, so wind also gives some loads. Okay, as per IS 875 part 3 Indian Standard Code books gives the wind load calculation for the structure. Okay, so while designing of the structure we must include wind load also. Okay, so these are all the various broad areas for the application of the fluid mechanics subjects. Okay, so I hope all of you understand the fundamentals and the introduction class of the introduction to the fluid mechanics. Okay, I hope all of you understand this class. Okay, from the next class onwards we will move into the subject. Okay, so first unit, properties of the fluid, one chapter, and fluid statics is the another chapter. Okay, from next class we will start the properties of the fluid. Okay, so thank you students for the listening. So once you go through this video once again for better understand. Thank you.